Oh. Hello? Okay. There you go. Hello, everybody. Mohammed, you have to sit down now. Hello, everyone. Welcome judges, students, guests, and live stream viewers to the 6th Annual Mayor's Innovation Challenge. So my name is Julie Fawcett, and I'm the Manager of Marketing and Revenue Development at the City of Kingston, and I am your host today. Craig Desjardins couldn't be here, but I'm sure wherever the camera is, he's watching. Hi, Craig. So my first job as host is to welcome the Mayor of the Mayor's Innovation Challenge to come to the podium and say a few words.
That's great. Thanks very much, Julie. And good morning, everyone. It is, of course, an enormous pleasure for me personally to be able to invite all of you here for the kickoff of the 6th Annual Mayor's Innovation Challenge. It's hard to believe this is the 6th year we've done this, but I just can't say enough about how important this event is for the relationship between the city and our post-secondary institutions and to the future of the city itself. There's never been a year that I haven't left completely inspired by the ideas and the creativity and the talent that we've seen from our post-secondary students. I know that this year is not going to be an exception. It was absolutely going to be in that same vein of that. I want to say a big thank you. Something like this doesn't happen without an enormous effort by so many different people. Amber, who has been working my office, she's the one who's helped to put all this together. But a big thank you to our amazing judging panel, to all the students that put forward their ideas, of course, guests and supporters, to Bell as our sponsor, and to the partnership with DDQIC. It's amazing what we can do when we work together on this. So I'm looking forward to a great morning. And again, my best wishes and good luck to all of our competitors. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor Patterson. This would not be possible without our amazing sponsor, Bell. Bell's consistent commitment to this challenge allows us to not only present the Mayor's Innovation Challenge every year, but also contributes to the amazing prizes. So I would now like to invite Rob Beck, Client Executive, Bell Business Markets at Bell, to come up and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. It's really amazing to be here with everyone this morning. It's my first time, and I hope it's not my last time at this event. First of all, I'd like to thank Mayor Patterson for your vision on this event when you started office. This is something just spectacular. It's a great fit for Bell. We share a commitment to creating better outcomes for communities, and innovation challenges such as this fit exactly with what we're hoping to do. We also believe passionately that investing in innovation improves the quality of life for everybody in communities as well as our country. 2022, Bell invested over $600 million in research and development and capital projects. On behalf of my colleagues at Bell, I want to extend a thanks to the city for putting this event together. I want to thank our partners at Queens and St. Lawrence for your partnership and support. And certainly, last but not least, I want to thank all of the participants and students for their extraordinary amount of thought and work that went into these projects. I'm sure they'll all wow us. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. So another key partner since the very beginning is the Dun & Deshpande Queens Innovation Center, affectionately known as DDQIC. I would now like to invite Jim McClellan, Academic Director and a co-founder of DDQIC, to say a few words. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. It's hard to believe it's been 6 years, and 2 points make a line. 3 points start to give you an idea of whether it's a parabola, but 6 years, that's a consistent pattern. And so I'd like to begin by, first of all, really congratulating and commending Mayor Patterson for the vision and his team in rolling this out and really driving it forward. I grew up in Kingston, went away for a bit, came back. It's exciting to me personally, as well as professionally, to see the city evolving in the way that it is and really starting to work in a close way with the post-secondary institutions, St. Lawrence, Queens, and we've had participation from RMC in the past year as well. And it's just, you can feel the fabric of the city really evolving in terms of a knowledge-based, innovative-based economy. We have the talent, and it's really exciting to see us draw on it. So really looking forward to seeing the pitches, and I'll also echo the congratulations to the teams for all the hard work that they've put in and making it to the finals, and looking forward. But anyway, the tradition continues. Very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. So I have some amazing bios to read from our judges, but before we do that, I wanted to acknowledge a few supporters of the students here today, including Deanna Davies, Derek Davies, Steve Janssens, Ekta Singh, and Pam Armstrong, who along with many others have championed the Mayor's Innovation Challenge and have supported a number of the student teams here today. It is now my pleasure to introduce your esteemed panel of judges. Reading these biographies was a pleasure, so I'm excited to share this all with you. So first up, Mayor Patterson. Brian was first elected as the 96th mayor of the city of Kingston in 2014. He was re-elected in 2018, and on October 24th, 2022, he was re-elected for a third term. He first ran for city council in 2010. Brian moved to Kingston in 2000 to attend Queen's University as a grad student, and in 2006, after obtaining his master and PhD in economics at Queen's, he joined the economics faculty at Canada's Royal Military College in Kingston, where he continues to work as an assistant professor. As mayor, Brian's vision is to establish Kingston as an innovative and forward-thinking city. This vision aims to harness the incredible assets we have as a community and build a culture of collaboration to make Kingston a leader among cities. Welcome, Mayor Patterson. Rob Beck is a client executive for the Bell Enterprise team. He is a longtime Kingston resident, attending high school here and then graduating from Queen's University. He's been involved in the IT telco space for more than 25 years with a background in enterprise data center, cloud, and security sales. Rob is married and has 2 daughters and 2 dogs. Thank you for being here, Rob. Jim McClellan is the academic director and co-founder of the Deshpande Queen's Innovation Center, which champions innovation and entrepreneurship across all programs of study at Queen's University, in the Kingston region and beyond. Jim helped develop the flagship Summer Innovation Program at Queen's and has helped design, implement, and teach programs and courses related to innovation and entrepreneurship in the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Science, the Smith School of Business, and the Faculty of Arts and Science. He is particularly interested in the use of systems and design thinking for social and business innovation, and has been actively involved in the Community Opportunities Lab and Health Innovation YGK initiatives with the City of Kingston and regional partners. Jim is a professor of chemical engineering and served as head of chemical engineering for 10 years, and is cross-appointed to mathematics and statistics and the Dan School of Drama and Music. Jim is the Queen's lead for the National MITAC Simon Fraser University Invention to Innovation Program, and is activity co-lead with the Genome Canada-funded Open Plastics Research Program for Plastics Circularity. As a huge proponent of the Mayor's Innovation Challenge and as a committed partner from day one, it is a pleasure to have Jim with us today. Dr. Wanda Costin became Dean of Smith School of Business in July 2021. A collaborator at heart, she brings a combination of academic experience as well as private and public sector management. Dr. Costin is a champion of inclusiveness in business and works with community, business leaders, and university stakeholders to ensure business research and teaching is training emerging leaders to thrive within the changing expectations of society. With a PhD, MBA, and Bachelor of Science, she has done research and partnered with organizations on managing diversity, inequality in organizations, women in leadership, and strategic human resources. Dr. Costin sits on the boards of the Kingston Economic Development Corporation, as well as the Business Schools Association of Canada. It is our pleasure to welcome Dr. Costin as a judge today. Thank you. Ms. Anne Vivian Scott has spent most of her diversified career dedicated to the challenging task of commercializing university-sourced discoveries into sustainable product and business opportunities. Since 2010, she has been walking the talk as president and CEO of KinArm, a company dedicated to transforming the clinical management of brain injuries and disease. Based in Kingston, Ontario, she and the co-founders, Dr. Stephen Scott and Ian Brown, have grown the company organically into a highly specialized manufacturer of interactive robotics. They sell KinArms around the world to neuroscientists and clinician researchers to study brain function, injury, and disease. A graduate of the University of Waterloo, Bachelor of Applied Science in Chemical Engineering 89 and Concordia University, MBA 95, she brings a diversity of skills to every challenge she faces, from quality managed production engineering to finance accounting to sales and marketing. Welcome, Ms. Vivian Scott. And last but certainly not least, Ethan. Ethan Fung, co-founder and CEO of Expresume, is a familiar face to this competition, having won last year's challenge. Ethan is a budding entrepreneur who started his journey right here in the city of Kingston. Starting with his first win at QHacks, he has gone on to win more pitch competitions to obtain sponsorships from the City of Markham, the Tree Frog Accelerator in Newmarket, and most recently he was selected to participate in the prestigious League of Innovators Labs Batch 10. Mr. Fung is a true innovator and has dedicated himself to helping job seekers land their dream jobs through his startup, Expresume. His platform streamlines the job application process by customizing resumes to align with job descriptions to help job seekers land more interviews. And I had a pleasure of testing out the platform last year, and it's amazing. So great job, Ethan. We are honored to have Ethan back in Kingston as our guest judge today and as reigning champion of the Mayor's Innovation Challenge. Welcome, Ethan. Okay, so we have two prizes up for grabs today for our teams. The winning team of the Dun&Dishmande Smart Kingston stream will receive $5,000 in seed funding to further their project, unlocked in phases as they make progress on their venture and admission to Q Your Venture, a virtual part-time program from April to November that guides participants' entrepreneurial journey through training and phase-based milestones. Winners of the Public Sector Innovation Stream will receive a 4-month paid internship with us at the City of Kingston. The winning team will gain access to a full slate of resources and mentorship from city staff. They will also be exposed to a variety of projects underway at the city and will have the opportunity to build skills and gain invaluable government experience applicable in any career. So we have 8 pitches scheduled for today. Teams were given the option to play the videos that they created for their proposal. And you can have a look at those up on the screens there. And do some presentations. Some of the presentations will have mixed media included. After each pitch, we'll open it up to questions from our judges for a period of approximately 5 minutes. And Diana, our lovely timekeeper, will give me a minute warning to make sure that we can try to keep on schedule but not cut off any of our judges' questions. After we complete the 8 pitches in the Q&A this morning, we'll take a recess for approximately 45 minutes to an hour so the judges can deliberate. The judges will return afterwards to announce the winners. For those viewing at home, we'll return to this room after deliberations for the announcement. So at this time, we would like to start the presentation, and I'd like to wish each presenter lots of best of luck. All right, judges, are you ready? Okay, our first team today is from St. Lawrence College with a project titled Kingston is Home.
Mexico. I'm Sahil, an international student from India.
My name is Naz. I'm from Ukraine. Hi, my name is Yi Chao, born and raised in Taiwan.
Originally I'm from Nigeria.
Why Kingston? Thousands of students and newcomers arrive in Kingston every year, forming distinct and separate communities. There is an opportunity to bring these communities together, for them to be represented and to express their unique heritage and culture. Kingston will be the place to do it. We're proposing Kingston is Home, an organization made for and comprised of international members of the community. This has not been done before, an innovative way to bring people together and mobilize an intercultural and international community. How do we get this done? 1. First impressions matter, and a successful welcome endears the city to incoming students and immigrants, a strong consideration when deciding to stay. With the welcome orientations, newcomers will get a practical guided tour of the city, explaining its public transport and pointing out areas of interest for newcomers, such as hospitals and grocery stores. 2. Imagine standing proudly alongside the fresh produce and Kingston's artisans, or booths selling authentic Chinese noodles or Indian mandala art. We will incentivize members of the international community with economic opportunities while sharing their culture at the Kingston Public Market. 3. Diwali, Lunar New Year, Portugal Day. Think of these not as individual days of the year for their respective culture, but a celebration throughout the year for the city. As we foster intercultural openness, everyone's invited. We will give our international communities the space to celebrate and share their history, heritage, and identity. We will innovate how we foster an inclusive community in Kingston, where everyone can be themselves and celebrated, welcomed, accepted, and belong. No matter who they are, where they're from, and where they are now. And why Kingston again?
Because Kingston's home. Because Kingston is home.
Because Kingston is home.
Because Kingston is home.
Welcome home to Kingston.
Welcome, everyone. We are Yashvi, Ashish, and Jethro. As international students studying project management at St. Lawrence College, we understand the feeling of being at home no matter where you are in the world. This is why we are thrilled to share with you the 3 reasons why Kingston can be that home for everyone through Kingston is Home.
First, economic development. Kingston is already a hub for innovation and entrepreneurship, and our project based on that foundation. By encouraging members of international community, we are providing economic opportunity to these individuals, and also we are providing and contributing to local economy. With our welcome orientation, we are providing practical information to newcomers to find employment and also to start business in the city. Kingston is already a opportunity place, and our project welcomes everyone to embrace it.
Second, partnerships and collaborations. Our project is built on the foundation of partnerships and collaborations. We are proposing an organization, Kingston is Home, that is made for and comprised of international members of the community. We believe that by bringing these individuals and communities together, we can share ideas, resources, and collaborate to create a better Kingston for all. We also see an opportunity to collaborate with local organizations such as Keys, Downtown Kingston, Tourism Kingston, and many more. We believe that by bringing these individuals, we can impact the future of the Kingston. We see this as an innovative way to bring all the communities in Kingston together as one.
And lastly, inclusivity. Inclusivity is at the heart of Kingston is Home. And what do you think inclusivity is worth? Statistics Canada shows that last year, 2,500 new immigrants came into Kingston. Input that into a mathematical model, that translates into $1.5 million in revenue, approximately 750,000 direct GDP. Yes, these are amazing numbers, but at the heart of it is a basic human need for belonging. We all came to Kingston with a purpose, to start a better life. And no matter how you started in Kingston, whether you were born here, raised here, or like us, newly immigrated here, we all need that sense of community to celebrate us, to welcome us, and to accept us. This is our opportunity to create an inclusive community in Kingston. And there's no better place than here. Why? Because Kingston is home. Thank you, everyone.
Judges, do your microphones work? Yeah, okay. So we have some time for some questions. Would anyone like to go first? Dr. Costin?
Hi, thank you for that. So my question is very pointed. Help us understand how you get this off the ground, number one. And number two, how do you find these communities and bring them together? Where's the hub?
Okay, starting on the ground, as you saw in the video, we have 3 initiatives. Our idea is to pilot them on a smaller scale, starting with St. Lawrence College, welcome orientations for the incoming new students, as well as starting those talks with the Kingston Public Market, and with these internships, laying the groundwork for the events for the 3rd activity. And now, in terms of the second part of your question, which is, I'm sorry, could you repeat that portion again?
Where's the hub? Where's it going to, so you're saying you're starting at SLC. So is that going to be the hub? Like there's a central location where people will gather?
Yes, we see that we want to leverage the connections in the network that we get from the internships with the city. But if to start with, yes, SLC can be the starting point as it is most convenient for the activities that we want to start as the pilot. Thank you for that question. Yes, Ms. Ann.
Thank you for your pitch. It's fantastic. I love the vision. We want to increase that stickiness of students like you and want you so that you want to stay in Kingston. That's great. I like Dr. Costa, I'm still a little unclear of what your actual tactics are. You've mentioned it a few times in the videos. Can you give us a better idea of what your actual plan is? What are you delivering?
Oh yes, the tactics. So to get these membership, we can start with the students, but really we saw that there is this untapped community out there that is kind of disparate and separate. There's an Indian community, there's a Chinese community. We want to really harness that by first reaching out to community leaders who easily influence their peers and really try to gather that momentum with everyone. We can start at the school, but then looking at the local residents who have stayed here for several years, like in our video, like finding that middle ground between the newcomers and those who have already stayed here for a while. Yes, Jim.
Hi. Very much enjoyed both the video and the pitch, and you know, it reminded me of conversations I've had recently with international students in some of my courses, and I think this would resonate very well with them. I'd be interested in learning more about how you're going to resource this. So, you know, you find a location, you know, it seems to me like this is a social innovation not-for-profit, or are you imagining it's a social enterprise, or how are you planning on resourcing and structuring it?
We're looking at this in a non-profit model. In terms of resources and leveraging, the internship will definitely help. But then, as Ashish said, we're also looking into partnerships with communities for their expertise, for their experience in handling large events like this before, and also really putting that partnership together, that relationship, so that these communities are represented and their voices are heard.
And just a passing suggestion, you might think of reaching out to both SLC and Queens, and I imagine RMC as well, for a certain amount, like to include it in their support for their international students that they're recruiting.
We're looking at Keys, ISCA as well, and other communities. Yes, Mayor Patterson.
Thank you. Amazing idea, and I really love the video, love the pitch. So just a couple of questions just to drill down on a couple of your ideas. So the first was with respect to the public market. So you had footage in your video from the, I think it was last year's Intercultural Arts Festival. Is the idea to make that rather than once a year, that this would be kind of a, like, is it once a week, like at the public market, that there's an international theme? Is that sort of what you're thinking? And then the second question is on the annual cultural holidays. So a number of those holidays are already happening. They're organized by a particular organization that's already in the city. Is the idea by linking them together to try to create mutual support for different holidays? Or can you give me a sense of what the added benefit, how we would see those celebrations change given this organization?
Okay, for the first question, yes, we observed these activities before, but we're looking at it on the framework of once-a-year large-scale productions. Our organization is looking at more sustained activity throughout the year. So yes, in terms of the public market, it would be nice to have these booths open for the members of our community who want to start small businesses, so that they can lay that groundwork to get better economic opportunities. And for your second question, yes, really that sense of belonging and that building of community, really rallying that support for each other's communities, that's what we see, bringing people together and making it easier to provide this year-long calendar of events, so that not only one community will be have that task to put on their own celebration, but it's all about welcoming everybody and bringing everyone together to celebrate.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh.
Thank you. Big round of applause.
Sorry, is it okay if I ask one more question, or is it time?
Time.
Okay,
Sorry,
okay, no worries.
Ethan.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, our second presenters are two PhD students from the Queen's Department of Chemistry with their project titled Sense Kingston. Do you both want a mic? Do you both want a mic? Yeah.
It's better. Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the introduction. Hi everyone, my name is Jian.
I'm Winika.
We are chemists from Queen's University. We are here to bring you a dynamic platform to visualize the air quality and weather of Kingston through transit network. We call it Sensor Kingston. Have you ever doubted about the actual weather outside? Have you ever observed the contradiction that you have on your weather app, but with the real-time environmental condition outside? This is a map of Kingston that we have, that we are all very familiar with. According to Air Quality Ontario, Kingston has only one environmental monitoring station, and this is how it looks like. It's monitoring the level of only ozone, PM2.5, and nitrate dioxide only. However, unfortunately, there are much more pollutant outside waiting for us. It is monitoring the level of data like this being plotted like a curve. From this plot, we won't be able to determine the real-time environmental and weather condition across the city. We will only know one point. So the conventional environmental monitoring style is obviously not enough for our smart city. Let's imagine, is it nice that one day we can have a map of weather just accessible from our phone? So this is what we are providing. Instead of simply deploying monitoring stations all around the city, we are proposing a solution in a more efficient way. We're proposing to deploy both weather and environment monitoring sensor on Kingston Transit Network. This is a roadmap of bus 501. We can see a single bus could cover a huge area of our city multiple times every day. Through just integrating weather and environmental data with the coordinates, we can easily present them in a map to everyone's phone. In the future, we can easily see in our city where it's heavily polluted, where it's extremely hot, or where it has the worst air quality.
So in any business, customer is the most important part. So weather and environmental data plays a vital role in people's lives. For an instance, general public needs to know the weather on their way to work. Scientists need them to make the world a better place. Comprehensive weather and environmental evaluation is the foundation to a sustainable development. Data will be presented in our customers' direct and online way. Information will be delivered to our customers through channels like city website, Kingston Transit, mobile apps, and database. According to the customer requirement, we can provide premium services such as customized report, sensor upgrading, or consultancy, not just in Kingston, but also in any other city that has a transit network. So our innovation ecosystem, we will mainly focus on real-time collection, dynamic visualization, interpreting, and evaluation of weather data in our business. Data, which is the key resource, it will be collected based on environmental and weather data from the sensors. Position data will be acquired from the Kingston Transit and geographical data from Kingston. So when it comes to the partners, this business will rely on our valuable partners such as Kingston City, the users' feedback, and Kingston Transit passengers, platforms like Google and Kmap. Academic collaborators and other cities will also be our potential partners. Our expenses will be mostly spent on the sensor-related equipment, electronics, marketing, advertising, staff, and computing. Our approach is based on a freemium business model. This will be done by providing the customer with free basic weather and environmental information. But if they need extra information, they could subscribe to our service. So our team currently comprised of two. Jan, he will play the role of data scientist and he'll be the software engineer. And he has an experience in chemical analysis, data analysis, and 8 years of industry experience. So myself, I'll be playing the role of the design engineer. So I have the expertise in sensor fabrication and electronics. And I have 5 years of industry experience. Every business has a risk. We have identified the top 3 risks and the mitigation strategies. So when it comes to the demand, there'll be a demand issue. So academic collaborations and awareness programs to the public, or the general public or the people, it will allow them to realize the consequences of possible pollutants, about the air quality. When it comes to collaboration, limited collaboration could be another risk to our business. So this can be overcome by staying close to the local community. At the end, under fundraise is a huge risk. So we will have a contingency budget plan for this. So this is our proposal to make Kingston a better place to live, work, and play. We need your support to make Kingston a greener city. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Let's start with Ethan this time.
Awesome, thank you. Hey guys, that was a really awesome presentation. The idea is like very, very cool. I just had a question about your business plan. You said you plan on using a freemium model, is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay, and I guess, have you done research on your market size? Because I guess like I'm not aware in this industry, but like how big of this market like actually would be willing to like pay for this type of product?
So basically, everyone in the city, directly or indirectly, will be the source, right? So for an instance, we will release the data. For an instance, the basic environmental data or like the air quality data from sensors like carbon dioxide sensors, nitrogen dioxide sensors, and the main pollutant information, right? But in case, let's say if there's a person who needs to know or to get the idea of the other pollutants, such as persistent organic pollutants or some sort of other gases, which is not given freely, they can pay or subscribe to our service and go for a premium service. So they can get the service from them. So for that, they have to pay. And also when it comes to the industries, in the Kingston area, already have we already have the map of pollutants and the air quality and the weather all around the Kingston at specific locations, almost all the Kingston area. So if they want the data, the environmental data of a specific spot in Kingston, they can pay us via the app, go for an upgrade premium service, and they can get the data at that point. Jan, do you have anything?
Yeah, so other than just the raw data, we will also like proposing an evaluation report like this, because the expertise that we spend on the evaluation will make the value of our report like much higher than just the raw data. But it will be only for like, for example, developer or like for like industry. They will need this kind of report. For individual, they will maybe only need a plot of data to see the weather or the fluent around the city.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Hi there. So my question is a little bit more basic around the sensor itself. Has that already been developed? What's the cost involved with that? And have you worked with transit already to talk about the cost of installing that on the transit vehicles?
I'll give to the expert of sensor here.
So when it comes to the sensors, so mostly we will be using gas sensors and other sorts of environmental sensors. So most of these sensors, they can be purchased like online or from the electronic stores. They are readily available anywhere, so we don't have to fabricate anything by ourselves. So when it comes to the electronics, as the in the initial state, we are expecting to use the Arduino platform and then develop it to the customized electronics. So in the initial trials, we'll be using the basic electronics. And when it comes to so once we package it with the sensors, electronics, and the communication modules and the GPS modules, so it won't cost like more than several $100, right? And when it comes to the sensor placement, so it's placed in the Kingston transit buses. So for that, So that's the point where we will collaborate with the Kingston Transit, and hopefully we will work with the Kingston bus routes as well. So in that case, it's just as this will be a collaborative project, so the price of deployment will be less. So basically, I would say for one module to place deployed and run it around Kingston, it won't cost maybe $100 for one module. I think I answered your question.
Rob, we have about 30 seconds left if you want to ask a short one.
Sure. Mine was very much along the line of Wanda's question, was that, Kingston Transit already has an IoT strategy. So have you spoken to them about how yours might integrate and what additional costs would be to Kingston Transit to provide that data service for your sensors?
Yeah, so again, we are expecting so our next step is to discuss about the capability of integrating other sensor package in this IoT, the internet and the platform. So it's our next step, right?
Thank you very much, Sense Kingston team. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Our third group today is a quartet of students from the Community and Justice Services program at SLC. Welcome, Team Strive Storage.
Good morning, everyone. We are here to tell you about Anna's story. Anna is a 30-year-old Kingston woman who enters into a local social service agency. She is soaking wet, she's tired, and she's hungry, and she was beaten the night before, and she is in crisis. Anna is also 8 months pregnant, and she has been unhoused since she was 24 years old. Anna is crying and explains to her caseworker that she has been robbed and assaulted. All of her belongings, including her identification, have been stolen. Anna is receiving government benefits, and she relies on these essential resources to survive. Without her identification, these funds and services become extremely difficult to access and receive, which will cause unnecessary stress to someone like Anna. And she is already going through the unimaginable. Anna is feeling lonely and scared, and she's losing hope as the nights get colder. Enter Strive Storage, the one-stop shop for safe and secure storage for government documentation and applications. Our technology would allow users to have a new system of keeping their documents secure so they don't have to worry. Strive Storage would act as a go-between, providing tablets to social service agencies within Kingston. The agencies would use these tablets to create profiles with the client data. These tablets would be encrypted and completely secure, with the profiles only accessible by the agency with the client present. Strive Storage would aim to give peace of mind to the clients, knowing their identification and paperwork are in safe hands and not at risk of being stolen. Now let's go back to Anna. If we had introduced her to Strive Storage before the traumatic event and offered her the solution of uploading her identification and documentation into the tablet, utilizing these services, there would be less of a burden and fewer barriers to overcome during recovery. While she may have lost everything, it would give Anna and others like her in similar situations peace of mind, knowing their valuable documents are safe no matter what type of challenges they may be facing.
Unfortunately, Anna is not alone. I personally have been in the community services field for 4 years, and I watch clients come into my agency in different states at all times of the day. Some heavily intoxicated, some fleeing dangerous situations, and some about to enter the most terrifying time of their lives. Most of these clients are lacking necessary documentation that they need to access proper resources that would save their life. Unfortunately, because these agencies also don't have a tool such as Strive Storage, I also have to tell these clients there's nothing we can do for them. I personally would like to be able to tell these clients that help is possible. As a team, we've been in contact with numerous agencies across Kingston that provide services to the unhoused. After many consultations, it became clear to us that we had a great idea. Our product will revolutionize documentation and identification storage for everyone. But right now, we would like to focus on the population that gave us the idea. We've all worked with and around the unhoused population and seen firsthand how difficult it can be to keep those documents safe. Now, let's go back to Anna. Imagine someone like her, living alone in a tent with nobody to turn to. The last thing that she should do is have to worry about whether she can access proper resources. We feel this project could be something very beneficial, not just for the clients, but also the agencies. With our product, we would be helping one of the most vulnerable populations, as well as the agencies that provide them services at the same time. With your help, we can save time for agencies that assist Anna and many others like her. With your help, we can make this a reality. Strive Storage is a non-profit organization, and we would be investing all of our profits back into our products. Every tablet would be sold to social service agencies across Kingston, and all of those profits would go back into improving our product. The funding that we would receive from the Mayor's Innovation Challenge would be used to develop prototypes, as well as fine-tune security options, as well as utilize local agencies that we have, such as Launch Lab, to help guide us in allocating funds appropriately, as well as working in cooperation with people like Candace O'Neill at Home Base Housing to ensure client needs are met. We are Jen Probert, Bram Elliott, Emma Vandenaker, and Blake Hannaford. Together, we are Strive Storage. We're all second-year Community and Justice Service students about to graduate at St. Lawrence College. And we've all gone on placements at somewhere that has dealt with the unhoused in some way, shape, or form. That was where we conceived this idea. We're striving to make change in the community, one storage tablet at a time.
Now the hard part.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations on a great idea. I think you've really hit a nerve here, because we know the data challenges that are involved with many of our vulnerable residents in our community. So my eyes lit up when I saw this. My question is, who have you talked to? You did mention at the end of your presentation you talked to Home Base Housing.
Yes.
Just curious what other agencies in the community you might have talked to, and can you describe a little bit about their feedback about what would be critical to make something like this a success?
Actually, Candace O'Neill invited us to go back for a working group and to invite outside agencies. We have professors in our program that are affiliated with AMHS, and we have already started to talk to them to see if we can start this working group. In addition to that, I am going to be doing a pilot project for my placement with my program coordinator, Derek Davies, who is here in the audience. And I will be spending the 5 weeks of my placement looking into this further, finding gaps in the system and the services that we already provide, so that we can see where we can fill those gaps.
Hi, thank you. So my question is more tied to the technology piece. So is there a particular reason you're focused on tablets as opposed to just the software itself, which could be downloaded and put on any device?
Well, if I'm being completely honest, we are not techie people. So we felt that the money would be utilized best there. We have certainly worked well together as a foursome to keep collaborating and keep going back to the idea and keep finding new innovative creations to do that. But we have been in touch with Launch Lab, who has sorry for stumbling, sent us resources in order to find additional funding in the community to ensure that we can build on the technology aspect.
And sorry, just to build on that just a little bit more, the tablet option also appealed to us because of the mobile aspect. We would like to be able to bring our product to the client.
Thank you.
Yes, I certainly echo the challenge and congratulations, and yes, certainly need to identify a proper tech partner because managing people's data is a huge issue. I would love to see that you had cybersecurity insurance on your list of near-term costs. My question is sort of one again of the ability to pay of the perhaps of the agencies. Who's going to buy? As we have seen in Kingston with our own integrated care hub, right, it's really difficult to find sustainable funding for these types of initiatives. Did the agency, home-based housing, you mentioned specifically, did they foresee an ability to squeeze dollars out of their budget to essentially engage in a subscription arrangement in order to receive this data? Because I see this as saving them time. So do you foresee revenue stream, I guess, tied with this service?
If we were able to generate revenue from the sales, they would obviously go back into the program so that we could, again, help the clients. We did, when we spoke with Candace, it was more about trying to fill those gaps on how to start a pilot project with the agencies, but that is certainly something that we would want to look into as well a little bit further.
I really enjoyed your presentation, and certainly I think of a really compelling need. Do you have a sense, it's sort of a two-part question, do you have a sense of whether there are these kinds of tools out there already, looking at some of the images that you had in your presentation, sort of maybe think like, have other jurisdictions. And then related to that would then be that, as you develop out your solution, do you see yourself then sort of scaling this by offering it in other locations as well?
Great question. What we did was when we were doing the research for our project, we identified one other area that was utilizing it. That was Toronto. They only had hard storage. They did not have computer technology storage. It was just bring your stuff here, we'll house it for you. And they were only able to help 33 clients out of the millions of people that are in Toronto. And again, it added a barrier because it would only be able to facilitate or assist the individuals in that area.
And just to build on that, so like Jen said, we did do quite a bit of research in our due diligence, and the closest thing we were able to find in terms of online storage is e-health. And with our platform, we wouldn't be able to handle health documents. So.
That's time, everybody. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, we're gonna have our fourth team come up and then we'll have a short break after that. So our fourth presentation is the team presenting Food for All. Come on down.
Hello everyone, my name is Yash and I'm with Hashir and Ryan today. And the project we've created is called Food for All, and we're proposing this to you because we think it's geared towards ending food security here in Kingston. In our presentation, we're going to go over our objectives, our inspirations, and our future aspirations. As well, we're going to see a quick demo of our website at the end. So, the social problem that we have chose to target here is food insecurity. By definition, food insecurity is the inability to access quality, nutritious food. Contrary to popular belief, and what many may quickly assume is that in Canada or in developed countries, food insecurity is not a problem. However, it actually is. 5.8 million Canadians are food insecure, and unfortunately, this trend is consistent in Kingston as 1 out of 9 families suffer from food insecurity. The population that is generally food insecure tends to be in the homeless population as well as those in single-parent households, which are prevalent in Kingston. So, Now that we've shown you a brief outline of Kingston's problem, one of the leading causes is food wastage in food corporations. As you can see from this viral TikTok, what happens in many restaurants at the end of the day is that they end up throwing away their food, which it's essentially just waste. So to counteract this problem, we've created Food for All. It's a fully functioning website with two users. It's composed of two different user components, the first of which is the food business. The food business is able to report that they have excess donatable food, and they're allowed to contribute information such as the nutritional values of the food, as well as their location for pickup. The second component is volunteer-based. Volunteers are able to view the food on the website and reserve it for pickup. When available, these volunteers are able to collect the food and donate it to homeless shelters and youth shelters in need.
So
the reason that we've chose to target homeless shelters and youth shelters is because we think those are the populations most in need. And from my personal experience, I volunteer at a food bank. I can personally anecdotally say that the food that is provided to these populations is not enough. And due to restrictions because a lot of the food is based on monetary donations. So these populations only really get donations once a month, which is not enough.
So why would our project work? There are three major reasons why we believe our project would be successful. And the first is that it's a volunteer-focused initiative. Thanks to the network that already exists through Queen's University and the City of Kingston, there's a backbone for volunteers that we can quickly recruit and get involved in the process. Secondly, our website requires minimal overhead and it's easy to execute once it's completely set up. Also, we are a not-for-profit, so all costs regarding the project are simply just based on website maintenance. And finally, in terms of why businesses would get involved, there's two main reasons. A, there's no downsides for them being involved because basically the only food we take is the excess food that would already go to waste, so they wouldn't profit off this anyways. And secondly, it gives them a positive and charitable public exposure. Also, I recently talked to the Kingston Youth Shelter volunteers, and they told me that food insecurity still exists in those shelters, despite them having some access to some non-perishable food. And one of the reasons that could be a part of this is because there's a lack of variety of foods. And we believe that our project could help reduce this issue. So we created a 3-stage plan of action in order to execute this whole project. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go step by step to local businesses and introduce the food waste and food insecurity problem. After that, we're going to try and convince them using our service and hopefully get them to report daily excess food that they would otherwise waste. And then the next stage is to get volunteers involved. So we could use student-run clubs as well as the City of Kingston and Queen's University, partner with them and get them involved as well. Basically, we want this to be a community effort. After we get both volunteers and businesses involved, we're going to create a schedule specific to volunteers and businesses to pick up those excess foods from food chains and deliver it to homeless and youth shelters at a quick and easy pace.
Thanks, Archie. So the third and final stage is our launch stage. So in this stage, we'll implement all other aspects of the previous stages into our web application. So currently we have a prototype website, but during this stage, we'll create a fully fleshed out polished website that will be used by the general public and businesses alike. Eventually, we'll also have our pickup and deliveries be autonomous. This means that the pickup and delivery routes will automatically be generated, and including their schedules as well. They will also be sent out to the volunteers, and this will all be done through the web application. Finally, once this is all completed, this will be published and used by the City of Kingston. In the future, we also hope to spread our reach to outer Cataraqui areas as well. So now let's take a quick look at our demo. And this is not the finalized version, as just a prototype. So as you can see in the main webpage, there are two options, businesses and volunteers. Businesses will be able to sign into their personal accounts, and once signed in, will have a donation information form. This is where they'll input their general information of their location of business, as well as the food item that they're willing to donate. They'll be able to select food categories and upload an image of the food that they're donating. Once this is submitted, this will be entered into our database and will be accessible by volunteers. So in the volunteer section, they'll be able to sign into their accounts as well. And once signed in, they'll be brought to a page where they can use an interactive map that has donated food locations. So as you can see, there's the donuts that we have just donated, as well as other foods as well in the city of Kingston. So once the volunteers selected a food that they would like to pick up, they'll enter the name, as well as their phone number. And so once submitted, they'll be given a generated QR code that will be used for authentication purposes at the pickup location. And this concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Hey guys, great presentation. I just wanted to say, how have you looked at some of the competitors out there? I know like Too Good To Go is, a big popular app in Toronto at least and around major cities. And they have like an incentive model where these businesses actually profit by giving away the food to these customers that are willing to pay. And how will you incentivize people in Kingston and businesses here?
Right, so what me and Hashi have both noticed from like volunteering and talking with food banks is that a lot of these initiatives are volunteer run, and a lot of the people in Kingston that we work with are really driven and like motivated to end food insecurity, and especially when dealing with homeless and single parent households, a lot of people like they don't really feel the need to see profitable margins, they just tend to do it out of the kindness of their heart.
Also to add on to your question, obviously, we're not Toronto, that's a big city. I believe that we could have our impact more focused towards Kingston, and because we're a smaller city and people are more well-known to each other, I believe that our spread would be much more impactful as we would be able to connect to local businesses directly as they're locally owned, so they can see the impacts of our work and their work.
I thank you for this. I come from this industry, and this has been my pet peeve my whole life. So kudos to you for trying to figure it out. The biggest piece I have is on the healthcare component of the health and safety of the food itself and keeping it out of the food temperature danger zone. So what are you looking at in terms of that?
So in terms of food safety, usually what we're gonna do is, this is gonna be a fast process. So as soon as the businesses close, we would ideally have volunteers ready to pick up the food and deliver it immediately.
Right. In addition to this, based on the Donation of Food Act of 1994, as long as we're able to identify foods that are not fit for human consumptions, the donated food and the redistribution of donated food the businesses as well as our business will not be liable for any injuries or illnesses caused by the food, as long as the food that we're distributing was not intended to harm someone, or that we're able to identify beforehand if the food is fit for human consumption or not.
However, we will have safety protocols set up to ensure that we wouldn't have to resort to like laws or anything. For example, we'd have refrigeration set for like donuts or something of that kind. Yeah.
A really interesting idea, guys. I guess my question is, so I'm thinking about like the software pieces looks really impressive. It's more just the people aspect and resourcing the volunteers to make sure there's always a volunteer available to pick up the food. So my question is, would you consider building that yourselves, or would you want to work with or partner with an existing agency that already has kind of that people infrastructure and volunteer place, and basically to offer that software to kind of help them do their job better? I'm thinking about like an organization like Lionhearts that runs the community food warehouse that we now have in the community. Do you see that software is kind of like a benefit to them, or are you trying to build something yourself?
Yeah, so especially at the start, our main goal is to partner up with as many organizations and try and make this not just a food for all thing, right? To make this as widespread as possible. So I think because we have a more focus and interest in software, we could definitely help with bringing it on a technological scale, but also because there's experience already in the industry, we would want to work with as many people as possible to get this off the ground and running.
One question is, have you considered, because of the data you shared, that a significant number of these folks that are food insecure are single-family homes or single families, single parent homes, et cetera. So not just the chronically unhoused. Have you considered potentially letting people themselves sign up on this and go pick up the food themselves?
Yeah, so that was actually our initial project. We initially focused, instead of more volunteer-based, we focused more on the people in need would access the food. They would access the website. But from recommendations from different reviewers, we found that a lot of the time accessing the technology would be difficult. For example, when we presented earlier, a large review we got was, oh, how are the homeless populations going to access technology to reserve the food? That's why we kind of changed our perspective and made it more volunteer-based, so we don't have to worry about the technological aspect.
To add on as well, we're using like homeless shelters as like a basis. So if people who are food insecure and do need the food, we would obviously look and allow anyone who comes to the food shelter to be able to pick up food. We just, like, this is just the very start of it. Eventually we would expand and create different zones of places or pop-up places where food insecure people, regardless of homeless or like with a home, to pick up the food.
Thanks, Team Food for All. Amber, we have 15-minute break? Okay, great. So 10:12, so if everyone can be back here by 10:30, and we'll go on to team number 5. Thank you.
second. There you go.
all of this.
Just want to make sure I don't have any feedback. Hi, everybody. You're all filled and caffeinated? Great. Okay, so we're on to team number 5. We got 4 more before lunch. So our next presenting team is 2 SLC students from the business marketing program with Kingston Snap Pods. Are they here? Is our Kingston Snap Pod folks here? Oh, here they come. Okay.
Hello. Good morning, everyone, to all the judges, and to Honorable City Mayor Brian Patterson. A pleasant morning. We are here to present to you an innovative idea that we believe that could be valuable to the socio-economic development of the city. Specifically the tourism sector. I am Juby Engo, second-year student from St. Lawrence College, taking up business marketing. I am from the Philippines. I used to work in advertising and marketing firms until I work in a city government as well as a tourism officer in one of the big cities in the Philippines. And I have with me my partner for this idea, Sam.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sam Cowan. I, too, am a second-year marketing student at St. Lawrence College. I'm actually just from Brockville, an hour from here, and I worked at the BIA there in the downtown for 2.5 years, helping to revitalize the downtown. So you could say I love tourism, and I find it very important. All right, so kicking off, I think it's really important to just cover our goals of our idea. So first and foremost, we are hoping to boost tourism in Kingston. As we all know, Kingston is a large tourism hub in the area, and tourism has a massive impact on business revenues, and we just think it's incredibly important. And our second goal for our project is to help move tourists between destinations. And what I mean by that is bringing tourists that are maybe just visiting Fort Henry down to downtown, from downtown maybe back up to Fort Henry, and just kind of keeping them in the city for a little bit longer, again, for revenue. Our third one would be to provide tourism information via digestible formats. So we'll cover this a little bit, but that would be via QR codes and just getting the information to the tourists that exactly they're looking for in that moment. Our fourth one would be to separate Kingston from other tourism locations. Again, that's just about our idea that we'll show you, but it would just be a great asset for Kingston tourism, our idea. And the last one, but possibly the most important one, is to improve communication between visitors and the city. And by this, I mean, with our idea, the city would be able to use it as sort of a bulletin board to be able to get pertinent information out to visitors, such as maybe like a parking ban or just information that doesn't always get into the tourism's pockets or the tourists' pockets. And with that, we will introduce the Kingston Snap Pod, your travel mate in Kingston. And we just have a short video to show you, so we're just going to go ahead and show you.
We know Kingston thrives in tourism.
In the summer months especially, the streets are filled with busy shoppers and visitors exploring and taking photos. According to the data we found, tourism numbers were growing at a steady rate for many years pre-COVID, until the world came to a complete standstill in 2020. People decided to shop online, and visitors stopped arriving. Now, with the borders being back open, we're still struggling to attract visitors back to the same numbers you saw before. Luckily for us, Kingston's natural beauty is a selling point that can't be taken away. Leading us into our idea. Meet the Kingston Photopod, a simple yet creative way for visitors and locals to show off Kingston's beauty. Nowadays, we discover places mainly through social media, making photography an integral part of Kingston's growth. These photopods can be stationed around Kingston at historic locations or breathtaking sites as an easier way to capture valuable memories. Here are a few examples of what we thought. The photopods would feature a holder for phones and a platform for DSLR cameras, so that a tripod and asking for someone to take a photo would be a thing of the past. It would have the option of being lit up, so that they could be used at day or night. At each pod, the city could use the space on it to lead visitors to other locations, collect revenue by advertising businesses, or have QR codes and links to information on more things to do in Kingston. With Kingston being at one point the capital of Canada, we have so much rich history and architecture to share with visitors, and we believe our photopods can play an important role in showing people where to go and what to see in a way that we have not seen used anywhere in the area.
Thank you for watching our video, and I hope you liked our idea of our Kingston Snap Pod, your travel made in Kingston. And to highlight its features, it has space for information that could work as a stationary tourism kiosk. It could be designed with QR codes that will direct the tourist where to go next. It is user-friendly, it can be rotated 360 degrees, and it could hold mobile phones securely, and it has a pod that could also hold DSLR cameras to capture vivid photos. So there's no more blurred or just selfies. It is simple and easy to use, and it could also help in building partnership with businesses. It could be a B2B or B2C medium. And to wrap up, here's Sam once again.
So overall, a Snap Pod is a game-changing innovation for the city of Kingston. It's simple, but would operate as an eye-catching feature that would draw its visitors from far and wide. But it also serves as a perfect introduction to the city, giving tourists a taste of ingenuity that our community has to offer. Especially due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the challenges that have come with it, Snap Pod represents a message of resilience, showing that even in difficult times, we are committed to providing unforgettable experiences for all those who choose to visit Kingston. And with that, we thank you for listening to our pitch about the Kingston Snap Pod.
Thank you for that. So 2 questions, the first of which is what's the cost of the pod itself? And is there a requirement for you to get some kind of authority or license to put that somewhere?
So the cost itself, we don't know the exact numbers. So we aren't design students, we're marketing students. So even the design itself, I'm sure it could be fixed up a little bit to give it a little bit more space to put stuff for the city to be able to put more information and stuff on it. I would figure with the one about now, and this is an estimate, I would say probably about $2,500, and it completely depends on whether it would have electricity running to it. But again, that's a whole other conversation because I know wiring electricity to it would be something else. And sorry, you had another question?
What kind of permissions do you need to put those in front of different places?
I would assume that it would probably just be a city. We'd probably have to go and get some permits for it, but there's not really anything unsafe about it. It would probably just need a permit from the city, I'd assume.
Just to add with Sam, we could be partnered if we're given the opportunity to implement or build this structure. We can have partnership with the engineering department. And also, as I mentioned earlier, that some of the businesses could be our partner as well. so they can put some information about their businesses. And in addition to that, this could, it's like hitting two birds with one stone, because we can use it as a tool to communicate to our tourists as well. So I believe like building such structure will be, investing in such structure will be beneficial to the city as well.
Hey guys, really cool idea. I'm just curious, like, have you done research about like theft deterrent? Because you are just putting your phone like in something and you're standing far away. So I'm just curious, like, how have you thought about combating that?
Yeah. The idea is that social media is everywhere right now. And the tourism sector is just bouncing back from the pandemic, right? And we observe like, there are some photos like in Instagram, like they're not capturing everything, which is very, very important. So with the Kingston Snapchat, if they can share using the hashtag, Kingston will be everywhere. So Kingston will be known. So that's our idea with the Kingston Snapchat, to capture vivid, no more blurrish, just clear photos of our city as well.
And sorry, just to cover that a little bit, so as for the pod itself, and I think you're talking about the phone, but the pod itself would be bolted into the ground. But for the phone, obviously we can't stop any sort of theft, but it would be close to where you are. And since you're taking a picture, we think you'd have your eyes on the phone for at least most of the time. But yes, it is absolutely an issue that somebody could run by and snag the phone. But of course, we'd hope not.
And just to add, I guess, it's rotating. Our idea is rotating just to make sure to maximize the pod. So if we can put it strategically in one place, like for example, in front of the Kingston signage, and then when you rotate it, you'll capture behind you, it's the City Hall. So that's the idea of the 360 degrees.
I mean, the theft question arose to me too. I know I always get really nervous when I put my phone down. I mean, have you thought about enclosures at all that you could, you put your phone in and sort of slow things down a bit, for that?
So do you mean like an enclosure on the top instead of kind of a bracket to hold it?
Yeah, just something to slow it down.
I guess we haven't really thought too much about it. Again, I think we would almost want help maybe a little bit from a design person that would maybe be able to give us a little bit more on it. This is an original, I guess the first idea, and we just kind of thought keep it simple, but if there was a better one, we'd be open to it, of course.
And my follow-on sort of suggestion, which probably violates the keep it simple rule, but I'll suggest it anyway. Because one of the things I'm sort of wondering about too is, could you have essentially sort of a fixed GoPro or something like that, that was, sufficiently rugged and resilient and securely anchored, that, then as a Bluetooth connectable or something like that. And so then sort of set up something that's co-creation. Obviously there's privacy and things like that, but I'm sort of wondering whether come make your video by the train kind of thing. Anyway, just
it
a
sounds
suggestion.
like you're way ahead of us even, so thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you very much.
Okay. Our next group is a trio from the Healthcare Admin Program at SLC, presenting Pride Health Training and Awareness Hub.
Hello. Hello everyone, thank you for being here. We are Nancy and Sharon from St. Lawrence College, and we're excited to present our project, Training and Awareness Hub. Please play the video. Hello, we are excited to present our proposal for the Major Innovation Challenge. I'm Nancy Espinosa, with my teammate Sharon Borromeo, internationally educated healthcare professionals and graduate students studying as an allies of our two LGBTQIA+ peers. Kingston is a brave and welcoming city, perfect for international students, with Queen's University and St. Lawrence College here. Kingston also offers premier healthcare services at Kingston General Hospital, Hotel U, and Providence Care. The city is alive with a diverse population, making it an exciting and stimulating place to live. We feel that diversity is the heart and soul of Kingston. As a testament of its diversity, Canada's 2021 census lists Kingston as the fifth most gender diverse urban center with the highest proportion of transgender and non-binary population compared to other census metropolitan areas in Ontario. Interestingly enough, since we are in a small community.
Sadly, despite being in a welcoming and diverse city, most 2S LGBTQIA+ individuals remain underserved in healthcare due to their unique health needs not being met by existing services. 2S LGBTQIA+ individuals often face discrimination, homophobia, and a general lack of knowledge about their needs from healthcare professionals. Also, many in the 2S LGBTQIA+ community are reluctant to disclose their sexual orientation, leading to inadequate care. All this and other sociocultural factors can profoundly impact access to the health care they need. We are proposing to create a virtual training and awareness hub for the 2S LGBTQIA+ community in partnership with the City of Kingston. We will be at the helm of this hub and offer services on awareness and training, health provider networks, support groups, advocacy and outreach, all in cooperation with existing health and educational organizations. We would also include the perspectives of local 2S LGBTQIA+ individuals to ensure their lived experiences are captured and showcased.
By creating this invaluable resource center and partnering with the city, Kingston will be leader in 2S LGBTQIA+ cultural competency, demonstrating its commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion, and setting a model for nearby cities to follow. Our revenue will be primarily from free-for-service programming with additional funding from a combination of grants, donation, fundraising event and campaign, and corporate sponsorship and partnership.
We are asking you to partner with us in creating this training and awareness hub. By committing ourselves to this endeavor as 2S LGBTQIA+ allies, we believe this hub has the potential to save lives and create a true culture of belonging in Kingston.
Now, I would like to invite you all to close your eyes and imagine this. You are in the hospital, feeling unwell and in need of urgent care. However, you have met with uncomfortable looks from the healthcare providers. They have made negative comments about your identity.
Hello.
They assume your gender despite your true identity, and immediately assume you are engaging in risky behaviors. How will that make you feel? Misunderstood? Not listened to? Now, please, open your eyes. This is unfortunately the reality for too many members of the 2S LGBTQ+ community. According to a report from Transpulse Canada, only 81% of the transgender and non-binary population have a healthcare provider. However, the report also shows that 45% of them have unmet healthcare needs, compared to the 4% of the general population. This is more than half of the respondents. This is unbelievable, isn't it? This is why it's paramount to have sound of LGBTQ cultural competency in healthcare. We truly believe that we can make this happen by engaging this project in collaboration with the City of Kingston, St. Lawrence, Queens, Kingston Pride, and all local healthcare organizations in a shared mission to create Pride Health Training and Awareness Hub. This initiative has the power to revolutionize how healthcare providers and students are educated on Pride Health, and to create a safe and inclusive environment for all of the 2S LGBT community members in accessing healthcare.
Our ambitious Pride project will be carried out in 7 to 10 months in 4 phases. Initially, we will engage stakeholders, especially those with lived experiences. Our work will be grounded in evidence-based practice and data-informed decision-making to recognize gaps, opportunities, and set goals. The next phase will be the creation of the virtual hub, digital training, and pilot projects. This will be followed by outreach, advocacy campaigns to promote training content, identify hub champions, and involve the city in the hub's promotion. Finally, we will measure success using evaluation metrics and benchmarks while also uncovering areas for improvement. Besides training healthcare providers in LGBTQ cultural competency, we are also creating a safe and trusting atmosphere that encourages LGBTQ members to access needed healthcare services without fear. Our progressive and professional service will be of great value to Kingston and its healthcare systems. Teamwork, respect, integrity, and pride are evident in this initiative. Investing in this hub will yield tremendous benefits for Kingston. It will improve health outcomes, empower healthcare providers, increase safety and confidence for Pride community members, and attract top talent to our city. The Pride Health Training and Awareness Hub is a game-changing initiative that will revolutionize the way Kingston values and celebrates diversity. It is a reminder to all Kingstonians that we genuinely care about creating equitable, diverse, and inclusive healthcare communities that we can all be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Excellent, graphics and wonderful ideas to put forward. I want to kind of circle back to your problem statement, though. And you said the primary problem you're trying to address is essentially ensuring that people of that group, receive healthcare appropriately and with appropriate knowledge of the identity that they've chosen, the gender they've chosen. So I'm curious, who are you really targeting in terms of delivering this information to? And where will that information come from? How are you going to actually change and inform them?
The hub is aimed at healthcare providers to be more Pride competent. Also, of course, the 2S LGBTQ members to create a safe sort of resource center, as well as healthcare students to make them practice ready as early as possible.
So I guess what's unclear is who is going to be the expert to provide the knowledge to train these healthcare providers appropriately?
Thank you for that question.
Yes.
Yeah, we're researching about healthcare providers and expertise that have already this experience. We have the example, and basically we are motivated from Rainbow Health Ontario. They are an organization that are based in Toronto, and they work in collaboration with Shelburne Healthcare. They have a platform, a website that they have some resources. They are open to all the communities. We have actually reached to them, and they have answered with links for the courses that we can take.
I very much like the idea, and I'm just sort of thinking, building in terms of, so I like the term also, the Pride confident piece that you were, term. Do you see this also as sort of community of practice for healthcare professionals, so evolving in time? So, and with perhaps an element of co-creation of new strategies, or, building out a shared or co-created database as well. Do you imagine that also being part of the product?
Thank you for that question. Absolutely. We are thinking of course, if the formula is valid and really worthy, we plan to replicate it. And of course, like we've said before, it is grounded in collaboration. And so we are not the experts. We are relying on expertise from the medical school here. This is a university town. and also to healthcare professionals, future healthcare professionals with this. And we plan to expand our reach.
Hi, question is exactly where you were just going. So have you already partnered or at least talked to School of Nursing, the medical school at Queens, your own institution? So what's been that feedback?
Our apologies that we are starting the phase 1 of the project. We have actually started to reach out with Kingston Pride, but we haven't have their reply yet. But we definitely will be reaching out as part of the phase 1 of this project, specifically first to Kingston Community Health Center, because they have the transgender clinic here already. And definitely we have taken note of doctors, of physicians that are engaging in LGBTQ care.
And if I might, just a quick suggestion on that front, you might look for people that are doing research related to healthcare that way, because there was a company called Actionable Nuggets, and it was spinal cord injury, and it was building essentially the same sort of platform, and it actually had grown out of a continuing research project. So that might be another opportunity, is if there are people that are actually working on health outcomes and so forth, you might be able to connect with them on a research basis and pull that in.
Thank you for that suggestion.
Thank you.
Okay, our next presenters are 2 computer science students from Queen's University with Kingsley.
So our project is Kingsley, a chatbot for the Kingston website, and our team. So I'm Brandon, a computer science. Sorry, my name is Brandon, a computer science student from Queens. This is Stuart.
I'm Stuart, also a computer science student at Queens.
And our third member, who couldn't be with us here today, is Michael, a third-year business student from UFT.
Let's suppose you had a question about life in Kingston or about social events near you. What better place to go than the City of Kingston website? The problem is when you get there, you're greeted by menus and menus of web pages. With so much information on the City of Kingston website, the user has to go through several menus and web pages to be able to reach the actual web page they're looking for, which can leave some even more confused than they were to begin with.
This is why we introduced Kingsley, an AI-powered chatbot trained on the City of Kingston website. It offers helpful answers and links to where related information can be found on the City of Kingston website. It also features voice input and output for greater accessibility.
Now, you might be wondering, why do we even need a chatbot? Isn't the search bar enough on the City of Kingston website? Well, yes, but a chatbot can improve the user's experience by so much more. While both solutions do end up reducing the time needed to find what you're looking for, our chatbot will be able to provide more accurate results that are more personalized to the user's needs. Chatbots can interpret previous messages to provide a more accurate search result, and can interpret previous messages to provide a more and can find desired web pages even when the keywords aren't provided. In addition, our solution can provide a more friendly experience. Talking to a chatbot can be thought of as talking to a helpful neighbor, which can make them feel more welcome if they're just getting settled into the city.
So, as previously mentioned, Kingsley has accessibility features that we'd like to touch on in a bit more. With Kingsley, the user does not have to spend time searching through the pages in the City of Kingston website. Instead, the user can either type or speech input to the chatbot in order to find information. In return, the chatbot outputs answers to text that can be found on the City of Kingston website. Let's see. This caters to users with decreased sight capabilities where auditory features can be used instead. Adding this functionality will make the City of Kingston website a website meant for all Kingston residents, truly accessible to all Kingston residents.
Kingsley is currently in its minimum viable product phase coming out of this year's Q-Hacks Hackathon, but winning the Mayor's Innovation Challenge will allow us to make Kingsley a reality. The extra resources will allow us to provide more data to fine-tune the model, which will make it more accurate and will better reflect the information on the City of Kingston website. To add on to this, we would be able to do some data updates every once in a while as new events come up and as municipal policies get updated. As of right now, Kingsley uses a basic version of the GPT-3 model, which does give information we want, but it could be better. With your support, we can fine-tune a better version of GPT-3, or even ChatGPT, which some of you might have heard of. This will increase the quality of Kingsley's responses in order to better serve Kingston residents. Finally, this opportunity will let us implement Kingsley either directly on the City of Kingston website or using a Chrome extension. After all, when someone has a question about Kingston, they go to the City of Kingston website and not some other website like kingsleyneverlies.tech, which the Kingsley bot is currently hosted on. Our chatbot can then be accessed by the public, helping them with questions about life in Kingston. Okay, video time.
Do you think we could show the video demo now?
Kingsley, your guide to Kingston. As you can see here, we have some accessibility features such as speech-to-text input, text-to-speech output, a pause and play button for the speech, as well as a speaking rate. Let's leave it a bit lower for now. Tell me about Kingston swimming pools. Okay, it has a response. And it also gives us a few relevant links. For example, this one's their aquatics lane swim. And let's test out the text.
Tell me about Kingston swimming pools. City swimming pools are located in Kingston and in surrounding communities to provide day and long-term.
Pause it. We can also restart it by clicking this again to reset.
Tell me about Kingston swimming pools.
And if we want it to be a bit faster, we could first change this.
Tell me about Kingston swimming pools.
Yeah.
Cities.
And once we have these messages, we can download the data as a CSV file. And this will be very helpful in the early stages of developing our product, because say that this response was not phrased ideally, or perhaps there was some factual inaccuracies. For example, maybe this was 30. So this way we can fine-tune the interaction between the human and the bot and feed this data into our future models to improve the performance of the chatbot. And if the user prefers to interact with the traditional website, we also have a link to the Kingston website at the bottom of the page. So that is Kingsley, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, that was our video demo by Michael, our team member who unfortunately wasn't able to come. But that's it for our presentation. We can move on to the question section now.
Thank you. I love the idea, and your comments about the city's website are very well taken. So I think we've been hearing for years about, how are ways that we can make, city information more accessible and easier for people to get to. My question is, are you aware of like any other organizations, municipalities that have rolled out something like this? That I'm just curious to know, is this something that you've seen elsewhere, or did you just kind of come up with this idea yourselves?
Well, we've definitely seen chatbots that on a lot of different web pages that help kind of guide users to the right information. But usually they're kind of pre-made dialogue maps that if you ask the wrong question, it doesn't really know what to tell you. So this is kind of our original idea, seeing how well ChatGPT responds to just different prompts and whatnot without it having to be mapped out. So this is kind of our idea on how to implement that with some kind of information that you already have on a website that can guide users to those kind of information and resources.
I love the idea because I've struggled myself with the Kingston website at times, so I echo Mayor Patterson's comments. Talk to us a little bit about financial viability. What's your financial model, and how are you going to make this sustainable?
So we plan to sell Kingsley as a software as a service, a SaaS service, to be able to integrate with existing websites and build annually. Our target customer is municipal governments, and there are 444 municipalities in Ontario, and most of them don't yet have an intelligent chatbot, and some not even a website. We believe in access to information to everyone, including those in remote or rural communities. According to some online sources, the City of Toronto contacted a SaaS platform, Payit, for payment processing, with an annual fee of $8 million. Now, obviously, our service is slightly different since accessing a website better doesn't provide better cash flows. But assuming a city the size of Toronto would be willing to pay about 1/8 of this cost for accessible website improvements, that's revenue of $1 million per year. And this is for a city of 2.7 million inhabitants. The entire population of Ontario is 14.57 million. So scaling this up and assuming a 50% adoption rate, we anticipate initial revenue of around $2.6 million.
But what's the actual cost? So what's the cost to you, if there is any? And to my colleague's question, long-term updates, these kinds of things, who monitors it, who keeps it up to date? Is that going to fall to the city or the municipality, or is that a separate entity?
So right now, just running costs, since we're using the OpenAI API, there is kind of a very, very small cost per question. So of course, if we get like more people to use it, that cost might increase, but it shouldn't be like unsustainably huge. The information also, so we use web scrapping to just scrap information right off the Kingston website. So if, say, information gets updated on the website, we simply have to just re-scrap the data or just update our database based on the new information. So there's not really a maintenance cost for purely updating data. As for updates, do you have any ideas?
Every once in a while, so if information gets outdated or anything, the city can update the information on the database, and then it'll be updated on the chatbot once it's retrained.
Yeah.
I think it's really awesome use of the latest technology, generative AI. My question is, yes, you said your competitors are using more out-of-date chatbots, but given their resources, they can easily implement generative AI, and especially if you're going to the cities and municipalities, you're going to be a vendor and you're going to have to compete with other bids through the the RFP process. And so how do you plan on, I guess, outbidding your competitors?
Well, our chatbot has the advantage that it has links at the bottom of each response. So in the case that the chatbot outputs some unsatisfactory information, the user can read more about it inside the links on the City of Kingston website. And this is something that other chatbots don't have. And our chatbot also has accessibility features, so speech-to-text, text-to-speech, that make it accessible for a wide variety of users.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kingsley team. Shout out to our CIO, Jeff Bumstead here. We love you, Jeff. You'll never be replaced by ChatGPT. Okay, so our last presentation of the morning is going to be a group presenting about accessible washrooms.
Hello. Public washrooms that can clean themselves? Yes, we can. Experience the future of hygiene with smart public washrooms. Hi, I'm Sahil from the team Pictures. I would like to state a survey. It's a very interesting survey done by Royal Bank of Canada. 49% of Canadians avoid using public washrooms because they feel it's dirty or unhygienic. So me and my team has come up with an innovative solution to encounter all these problems. So unfortunately, my team members are not here for this physical presentation. So they will be joining us via virtually for Q&A. And to gain more significant knowledge about the problem that we are trying to solve is we will present it by the video. And
Introducing to our team of experts, I'm Sahil, I am Manglesh, and I am Lakshman. We are a team of engineers, user experience designers, public researchers with expertise in system design, IoT, and coding. We bring a multidisciplinary approach to problem solving and delivering cost-effective and intuitive solutions tailored to unique requirements.
We have all been there while walking around downtown Kingston, minding your own business. Nature unexpectedly calls, and you are immediately obliged to respond, unable to find public washrooms nearby. So you dart into the nearest restaurant or cafe and pray that you can make it past staff to use their washroom. For just a minute or two, instantly met with a stern look, signage advertising that washrooms are for paying customers only, and the realization that these are obstacles that stand between you and glorious relief. You hurriedly skim the menu and order whatever happens to be the cheapest and sprint towards your porcelain paradise. Prices averted, and now you have a coffee you didn't know you wanted, which almost certainly guarantees that you will need to find another washroom in the next hour or so.
Chances are you have encountered a scenario such as this and managed to get into said washroom without having to pay. For that, you have been busted and harshly reminded of the store's policy to purchase something. But should we have to go to all this trouble to quickly and easily make a pit stop in downtown Kingston? Our experience with public washrooms in Kingston highlights a number of significant challenges. We discovered that some washrooms are seasonal and therefore closed for a significant portion of the year, making it difficult for us to find a place to relieve ourselves. Secondly, even the washrooms that are open face a number of issues, including poor cleanliness, inadequate accessibility features, security concerns, and a lack of gender inclusivity. These issues can make it uncomfortable and unsafe for individuals to use these facilities, particularly those with disabilities or who identify as non-binary and gender non-conforming. The City of Toronto has 448 public washrooms for its 3 million residents, and the population of Kingston is estimated to be approximately 138,900. Along with almost 200,000 annual visitors to Kingston, a total of 50 public washrooms, most of them being seasonal washrooms and temporarily closed. This can be particularly challenging for those with medical conditions such as IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, UDI, and women undergoing pregnancy who require frequent access to restrooms. Additionally, lack of washrooms can contribute to public urination, which can be harmful to community
But what if there was a better way? What if we could create a washroom experience that was safe, hygienic, inclusive, and even enjoyable? Introducing the smart public washroom, the washroom of the future. A smart washroom is designed to cater to these issues and much more. It's clean, it's safe, and it's equipped with the latest technology to make your washroom experience a pleasant one. Here are some of the key features of the smart public washroom. Automated cleaning. The washroom is equipped with sensors and automated systems that clean the space between users to ensure it's always fresh and clean without any human involvement, reducing the upkeep and maintenance costs to a bare minimum. Hands-free operation. To reduce the spread of germs, all of the washroom fixtures are hands-free, including the toilet, sink, and soap dispenser. Accessibility features. The washroom is designed to be fully accessible with wide doorways and grab bars, following the Ontario Building Code for barrier-free washroom. Security. The washroom is equipped with sensors at entry and exit to track the time in use, and for unusually long times, an alarm is set off to check for the safety of the user and prevent misuse of the facility. Sustainability. The washroom is designed to be environmentally friendly with features like water-saving toilets, LED lighting, along with being powered by solar panels on the roof of the installation. Solution. We are proposing to design and develop these smart washrooms in form of prefabricated units that can be placed in high-traffic areas across Kingston so they are accessible to residents and visitors of Kingston. The proposed idea will leverage cutting-edge technology while also making it very cost-effective than existing solutions, up to 95% cheaper than smart washroom solutions implemented in Vancouver and New Brunswick. We propose the plan to be executed in phases. Phase 1, analysis and design. Phase 2, procurement and prototyping. Phase 3, testing. And Phase 4, launch. The prototype will be tested in real-world settings to ensure its reliability and effectiveness. User feedback will also be collected to further refine the solution. In addition to enhancing the user experience, we have also developed a sustainable business model for the city. A very nominal fee that can be conveniently paid by a debit and credit card will be charged, as well as revenue generated from advertisements placed on top of the structure. With this innovative model, we try to ensure that solution is not only cost neutral, but also cash positive for the city, creating a win-win solution for everyone involved. Now over to Sahib.
So smart washroom is not only about the solution we are providing for the problems today. It's an investment for the future of the community. And we want to improve the quality of life for everyone living in Kingston, and to make Kingston, our city, more accessible and welcoming to everyone. So let's take an action to make this idea a reality. And smart washroom is the future, but together we can make it present. So one washroom at a time. Thank you. We are open to questions.
I love this idea. This is something I could get really passionate about. So I have to ask, unfortunately, the most obvious question. You guys are right at the beginning. You want to just get started on design. How much do you think the first phase of design will cost?
So we have a range between that we, according to our research, we think it's 15 to 30K for the prototyping, and it may differ if we implement it after 6 months. So according to now, we can implement between 15 to 30K range.
So have you looked at already sort of off-the-shelf technologies that might help defray some of that design cost? Given that you alluded to a couple of existing portable units that are available, what is a base unit cost, I guess, from what you've seen out in the market already? Yeah.
So it almost costs around 700K, I guess, $770K, and yeah, it is it's very costly, and it is a basic price, the beginning price of smart public washrooms.
Just add on to that, current solutions that are present in the market are a bit at the expensive end for implementing these technologies. We coming from an engineering background and have experience in delivering and creating cost-effective solutions, believe that through our system design, we can reduce the cost significantly than the solutions present in the market at the moment.
So I just want to say I also resonate a lot with this this problem that you're solving. But I guess my question is, it's a public washroom, right? And I noticed you have like your business model, which is advertising, but also you said you can pay with debit or credit. And I'm curious, is that, is there a specific target market then that you're trying to tackle? because not everyone may have access to those types of payment systems.
Lakshita Manglish, would you like to answer this question?
So basically, the addition of having the user pay a very nominal fee is just not only for the revenue stream, it is also an added layer of security to prevent from vandalism and theft. We could also ponder upon including a coin collection system as well for an alternate approach to a credit or debit card if that is not accessible to our target audience. But that's the main reason of having it as an additional layer of security.
Okay, my follow-up question then is like, who is your target market then?
Sorry, go ahead, Sal.
So our target audience is the tourist, of course, because whenever a person comes to Kingston, the high footfall area is downtown, and the tourists are our customers. And it is very important to give a clean washroom for tourists. And we basically want to change the psychology of using public washrooms. That if a user wants to use public washrooms, so they should not have a second thought. Is it unhygienic or dirty? So we want to change the psychology using our smart public washroom model.
Just to add into that, as we explained in a video, our target audience is the residents of Kingston, along with the visitors that we have, and the people suffering from certain diseases and ailments that require frequent access to washroom. And they can actually travel and explore Kingston in its true beauty and form without having to second guess about public washroom accessibility near them.
I mean, I think the service provision idea is great, and the video is also very compelling as well. The question I have for you is, it's high tech kind of a solution. From an outcome standpoint, what would you identify really as sort of the essential components of this versus a technologically sophisticated solution that may have a cost that exceeds what the implemented sort of value would be?
The self-cleaning solution for this washroom that we are aiming for, that might be a bit more costly. The thing is, right now we haven't yet designed it, as well as the equipments that we will be procuring for the design phase. So those things are still uncertain. So I think that specific equipment might become a bit costly than we have projected the estimate.
I want to add on some more points. So the challenges we will be facing will be the customer hesitation while first time using a smart washroom. So it is very difficult to counter, but with the user feedback we can improve that. And second is the seasonal washroom thing. So the weather conditions, it's very hard in Canada, so that is a challenge for us to improvise that washrooms are accessible with the seasonal issues.
Because I mean, the thing I'd leave you with is you could sort of split out, some of the essential functionalities, location and access. If you said, I'm going to have a washroom that is designed for cleaning, right? Designed for operability kind of thing. The minute you try to automate everything in site, that makes it more challenging, and there may still be more intervention. And last suggestions, you might take a look and see what sort of washrooms, for example, in Japan, because they're the notion of modular, quite automated washrooms also, I think, is quite commonplace as well.
Thank you so much for listening.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody. I just wanted to see if we can offer a big round of applause to all the teams for their inspirational and creative ideas at this year's Mayor Voice Challenge. Thank you. So I don't think this has ever happened to me, but we're ahead of schedule. I don't know what happened. So Amber has told me that the catering should be here in about the next 10 to 15 minutes. So normally we would take a 45-minute break. But Amber, do you want to say maybe, it's 25 after 11 now, what time would work for everyone to be back and just have everyone have time to eat as well?
12:30?
Just wanted to, don't want to rush people over their lunches. So let's try to be back here for 12:30. The judges are going to go off into their secret room and deliberate and have their meals, and we'll see you back here at 12:30. And for our live stream people, we'll be having a break and be back at 12:30 as well. Thank you. So before we get started, Amber asked me to ask you to get food before you go home because there's a lot of food left over. So yeah, I already got my egg salad sandwiches for later. So just make sure you do that before you leave, and we'll just wait another 30 seconds and we'll get started. Okay, I think we're going to just go on ahead and get started. So thanks again, everybody. Hope you had a great lunch. So I just wanted to thank, again, all of our student presenters, which I think everyone's now in this room, as well as the judges for making the time to be here today. Special thanks to Bell for your generous support of the Mayor's Innovation Challenge. Now I would like to invite Mayor Patterson to come up and announce the winners and close out this year's Mayor's Innovation Challenge.
All right, thanks very much, Julie. Well, what another amazing edition of the Mayor's Innovation Challenge. You guys did not disappoint. That's the first thing that I will say. You made our job very difficult. I can tell you we had lively, fevered conversation in our secret room over the last hour, talking through all of the ideas. So I'd just like to review what we've heard. So. Our first pitch this morning was Kingston is Home from Jethro, Ashish, and Yeshivi. You hit on such a critical issue for our community, being more inclusive, bringing together different communities, being able to support each other. I thought some of the innovative ideas that you brought forward. I know that Mohammed from our EDI department, I mean, you know, just the ideas that you were generating were just absolutely incredible. Our second pitch, Sense Kingston. We had Gian and Vanika. Honestly, just a brilliant idea. Just this idea of taking monitoring and instead of having it in one location, putting on a transit bus, having it move around the community. I mean, the possibilities for this are endless. And so thank you for just helping us to even think that way about, you know, we think about the Internet of Things and what that can add to it. Just incredible work. Our third pitch, Strive Storage, Jen, Emma, Blake, and Bram. I said this in the Q&A, you guys hit on a critical issue for our community. This is one of the issues that we are grappling with, and I know from firsthand, dealing with this issue, the challenges that we have around data and keeping track of individuals. And so just the idea that you brought to the table, just I think revolutionary, not only for Kingston, but for so many other communities as well. So congrats on that. Our fourth pitch, Food for All. You had Yash, Ryan, and Hishir. You guys identified a critical issue, and I think Wanda put it well. It's just like that frustration when you see all this food just going to waste when there's so many people in our community that need that food. There's a lot of work we're doing in the food security space trying to solve these issues, and I thought that you guys walked right into that area and proposed a really, really innovative solution. Pitch number 5, Kingston Snap Pots, Juby and Sam. Great work, guys. Honestly, there was a lot of enthusiasm in the judges group about this. Definitely something that, you know, when I go somewhere and I want to take a picture, you know, some people are fine to kind of like pass their phone up, but other people feel shy about it. And so just having something like that where you could put your phone in and what that could do for tourism, you're absolutely right that tourism is such a key sector for our community, and being able to add to that, amazing work. Pitch number 6, Pride Health Training and Awareness Hub. Amazing presentation, amazing issue. I thought that the way you framed that, you know, the statistic that struck out to me that 45% of those surveyed have an unmet health need, I was rocked by that. And so you hit a key need, and I thought you've already identified some of the potential partners and players in this space to be able to, again, be an inclusive community by making sure everyone in our community has their needs met. Amazing work, guys. Pitch number 7, Kingsley. From we had Stuart and Brandon. I just chuckled your whole presentation talking about the city website. It was just, but it was just a genius idea. And just think about another application for that AI technology, chatbot technology, and what it can do to just make it easier for individuals to be able to interface with the city. Just a great idea that you've highlighted there for sure. And then our final pitch was accessible washrooms from Sahil, Lakshit, and Manglesh. Honestly, that's probably one of the funniest videos that I have ever watched. I laughed the whole time. It was just because, you know why? Everybody could identify with the situations that you were putting forward. What a critical need, and I think there's an enormous opportunity for us to be able to innovate and to help improve that problem. So I'm amazed by the diversity of the challenges and the issues that were raised and the diversity of those solutions. So congratulations to all of you for putting those pitches together. It was just an amazing competition. Just before I move to announce the winners, I'd actually like to invite Jim from DDQIC to come up and share a few words, because although there are only 2 winners, we really do want to provide some encouragement and resources for all of you, because in my view, all of you are deserving of being able to continue to push your idea forward. So Jim, would you just come up and say a couple words?
Thank you, and I would echo again. Also, it was very neat to see the range of proposals and the quality of the pitches and the ideas. So again, congratulations to all of you. What I wanted to say is that now one of the prizes is Cue Your Venture, but with a $5,000 seed capital piece. Okay, but Cue Your Venture is also open with small amounts of seed capital, more like, I think is it like 400? 750. Okay, so ventures, the ones that don't get the top 2 prizes, you've all got ideas that I think you can carry forward. I'd really encourage you to give thought to that. Apply to the Dundas County Queens Innovation Center. It's community facing, and you can get mentoring. There's co-working facilities and things like that, and there are milestones that you can follow with seed capital in the order of 750. Okay, always non-dilutive. So very much encourage you to think about that. The other piece I'll say is we've got the Build to Scale Health program as well. We're taking applications till March 29th, or 20th, okay? Pride Health, Sense Technologies, maybe the washroom. If you've got something that's related to a health innovation, I would very much encourage you to look at that as well, and that's another avenue to pursue. Virginia, my colleague, is here. You can always talk to her, but also you can check out the website or just come down to the corner of Division and Union. Anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to hand back to Mayor Patterson and let him announce the winners.
All right, that's great. Thank you, Jim. Okay, so we are at the moment of truth. So we have 2 winning teams. So the first team, the winner of the $5,000 seed funding, the entrance into DDQIC, the Summer Entrepreneurship Program, the winner is Strive Storage. Have you guys come up? Okay, this is a tough one, but after much debate and discussion amongst the judges, the winner of the internship with the city is Food for All. So thank you again, and congratulations to all of our teams. Again, you made our job very, very difficult. But I do just want to say, again, a big thank you to Bell, to our sponsors, our amazing judge panel. You guys were amazing to work with. Thank you so much. To Julie and the team for helping to MC and facilitate, to Amber and all of your work behind the scenes. Congratulations, everybody. An amazing job. I look forward to seeing you again next year. Thanks so much.